Sorry for the technical difficulties. Hello, fellow Simpsons likers. Epic Benjamin J, the fourth branch of government, the 51st state. I will do this gag again when there are actually people back in the chat. We're coming in a little bit hot today, so I didn't have a chance to do my usual adjustment of the settings. Which means I'm going to do it all now. Curse my disorganization. And believe me, I'm a lot angrier about it than I appear to be. That'll do. Okay. No, I said this way. Good. I think we're actually ready to go here. So, unfortunately, I had 2 viewers in the chat and now I have 0. That's what happens when you have to cut things off due to technical difficulties. I'm going to take this opportunity to make sure everybody has a chance to get back in. So, we're going to go back to starting soon in just a bit, for just a few more minutes. Be right back. Okay, hopefully we're good now. I had to make sure everything was working the way it needs to. Plus, I needed an excuse to go get my coffee anyway. So we'll have a, let's call this a soft do-over. Once again, Oh, there we go. Once again, good evening, or good late afternoon, fellow Simpsons likers. Epic Benjamin J, the fourth branch of government, the 51st state. And now you can actually see my face here. Good. We'll get started in short order here since we wasted so much time off the top, unfortunately. I apologize for that. We'll call it technical difficulties, but it's really me forgetting to do a few very important things before the stream started in order to ensure that there actually is a stream. Anyway. It's Sunday, it's Simpsons Sunday, and that means we're going to start off with our quick sketches, and that'll also buy some time for people to who may be wanting to show up to also show up. And coffee. That's some good stuff. Anyway. Let's get it going. As is fairly customary at this point with my Simpsons Sunday quick sketches, I like to do at least one that's of some obscure character or characters, and the more obscure the better. So we're going to do that today. Now the funny thing is, some people right off the bat should be able to guess what this one is. But if not, here you go. Let's make that bigger. Matter of fact, probably the best way to do that is to work backwards. Okay. Do I have my ellipse template with me anywhere? Not really. I got the crappy ellipse template on hand. I'm not gonna go looking for the other one right now. There's been way too many delays in this stream already. Okay. Today's Simpsons Sunday is going to be slightly New Year's themed, also slightly meme themed, now that I think about it. Oh, that's terrible. You can do better than that. Yeah, that's slightly better. Hi, Elaine. How's it going? Thanks for dropping by. Yeah, I thought the amendment to B1 would also be sort of appropriate and semi-topical now, because you know, it looks like those clowns in Congress have done it again. What a bunch of clowns. So, this is always an evergreen sort of thing. Also, I may or may not sing the amendment song. I haven't decided yet. So it's a good thing that you posted it. I should mention, because I know a couple of days ago we were talking old people and, their hatred for millennials, which is a frequent topic of conversation in our stream, since Elaine and myself are very, very close to exactly the same age, so... I always remember this episode, like I always remember this part, the amendment song part of this particular episode, when it cuts back to Bart and Lisa. And It definitely grinds my gears when people don't know how old millennials are. Yeah, me too. We're all pushing, some of us are pushing 40 right about now. Some of us more than, some of us pushing it closer than others. But what I'm saying is like this is a good example. If you go back to this amendment episode, if you go back to the amendment song episode, the cutback to Bart and Lisa like watching and saying, not sure what the hell they're watching. And Lisa says, it's one of those campy 60s throwbacks that appeals to Generation Xers. And Bart's reply is, we need another Vietnam to thin out their ranks. This always reminds me that, because the episode was written by, sort of legendary Simpsons writer John Swartzwelder, who is a legendary Simpsons writer, and he's written some of the best episodes that the show's ever produced. But if you know anything about John Swartzwelder, he's also the boomeriest boomer that ever boomered. He's like the, And guess what? In the 90s, boomers hated Gen Xers just as much as they hate millennials now. It's not about being this generation or that. It's just that old people hate young people no matter how young they are. If you're young, there's a certain subset that if you're younger than me, you suck. How come they've laid off on Gen X? I would imagine just because, millennials and post-millennials and zennials and everybody else that came after them are a little bit more visible in the pop culture right now, so they're a little bit easier to take shots at. That's my guess. Gen X did not really put up much of a fight against, as far as taking over the culture from the baby boomers as the generation that followed them kind of have. They were just kind of like, yeah, whatever. And, the boomers never left. The boomers never left. The Xers didn't really fight it very much, and then along came the so-called millennials. Yeah, that's my guess. I'm no anthropologist, and as I've said before, I think to some extent generational designations are kind of bullshit. But I use them here for lack of anything better. Yeah, people love labels. Yeah, I never have, really. So, But that's why I say, like, if you go back and look at that particular Simpsons episode, it's like, oh yeah, no, the Xers got it from them too in the 90s when when it was still when it was still fashionable to do so. We're too young for them to dunk on us. Quite possibly. But, all of that's changed now, I guess, and they, Like, what? Dunk on a bunch of middle schoolers. And they would have if it was, you know. The thing is, there was a little bit. This gets into a whole other debate. But socioeconomically, there was a little bit more to go around in the 90s, so not everybody felt as much of a need for a scapegoat as to why their lives suck, or why, or what's to blame for the lives of others sucking. So there's that too. And I'm not, people kind of, there's a lot of rose-colored nostalgia about about what the 90s were, and I certainly did not live a particularly, I was a teenager in the 90s. I didn't live a particularly bad or difficult life in the 90s. And, it's true that, the economy was, as far as economies go, we all know yet another thing that we very quickly found out is also kind of bullshit, is the stock market. But that was doing well, by the standards of that in the 90s. People were working generally. The Cold War ended. People thought that, society was on the upswing for the most part. I'm not going to pretend that there weren't a lot of a lot of the same problems then that we're dealing with now. It just seems like kind of fewer people were talking about it back then. Or fewer people within the mainstream were talking about it. And there's also just the fact that, technology just sort of hit at the right place at the right time. Because if you take the dot-com boom away from the 90s, you're looking at a much different course of history. Anyway. How long have I been using this paper towel? Yeah, and then the bubble burst. And the bubble burst. Also, I always point to, people. This is always. I hesitate to call it funny, but it was a warning sign that we should have seen back in 1990. 1998-ish. All of the. All of the car loan commercials, all of the housing loan commercials. Bad credit, no problem. Anybody remember those? I do. Right around 1998-ish. 10 years later? Oh, wait a minute, we have a problem, don't we? There was a problem all along. Turns out all the people that you gave loans to in the 90s that couldn't afford it in the 2000s either. So when everybody decided they wanted that money back, it wasn't there. So yeah, I'm always that jerk that's, quick to point out that, not everything is quite as wonderful as we remember it to be in just about any situation. That makes me a real hit at parties, but, Some people forget things too easily, important things. Oh yeah, fetishization of the 1950s. There's a little 50s fetishization in The Simpsons, really. At least the early part of it. I think they were a little bit They were a little bit quicker to point out certain things, that certain things weren't quite as wonderful back then as they remember. I always figured, I always called it the 20-year rule. Everything comes back, everything comes back after about 20 years. That's why you had Happy Days, which is about the 50s and the 70s. You had the Wonder Years, which was about the 60s and the 80s. You had That 70s Show, which was about the 70s and the 90s. And so on and so on and so forth. Yeah, now people are pining for the 2000s. Hey, you get out of it what you put into it. I'm not gonna burst anyone's bubble entirely who had good experiences in any particular period of time. I would like to suggest to them that A, it wasn't as good as you remember it, and B, there are other people who might have had some different experiences. For some people, the 1960s was, flower power and love and roses and guitar playing on grassy meadows, and for other people the 1960s was about separate bathrooms and being fire hosed on the way to school. And that's just the way it was. I had an experience, this was one of my experiences where, this was one of my tongue-holding experiences where I had to not exactly say what I necessarily wanted to say to an older person. This has actually happened a couple of times. This is at the public library, which has a lot of the public library here in Queens, New York, has a lot of sort of modern innovations, and we have things like self-checkout and digital card catalogs and stuff like that that is kind of intimidating and daunting for older folks that don't know a whole lot about computers. And one moment, please. I have no idea why I did that. Let's do that again. This is actually supposed to be another stripe right about here. So yeah, customer at the library is like, I miss the good old days when we just stamped the you just stamped the due date on the back of the book, and that's how you knew the book was due, and you didn't have all of these computers, and we didn't have to use computers back in the day, and everything was so much better back in my day. And in my head, I don't say this out loud because, I don't want to get into a whole thing. But, in my head, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. You know what else they had back in your day? They had a sign outside the library that said my grandfather wasn't allowed to come inside. So, tell me again about how wonderful your day is and how wonderful your time was. We're gonna ink this now. Today, I don't have to be as mindful of the clock because, as far as I know, there's no wrestling pay-per-view tonight. So I don't have to worry about getting I don't have to cut short anything. I don't have to do one less well, let's see. I can't remember if the Royal Rumble is on the 17th or the 24th of this month. I want to say it's closer to the end of the month than the 14th or the 17th. In that case, that will not be a regularly scheduled Simpsons Sunday. Next Simpsons Sunday is going to be, it's going to be in 2 weeks. It's going to be on the 17th of January. was saying, today's Simpsons Sunday is going to be slightly New Year's themed, and also probably slightly meme themed. I don't want to do all of my Simpsons artworks. I don't want to start doing all of my Simpsons artwork based on memes, but sometimes it works. I live for Simpsons memes too, but I don't know. I guess I feel like there's kind of a time and a place. Not sure if those eyes are quite right, but they seem to work within this bit of artwork that I'm doing here. Hey, I'll be the first one to push a Simpsons meme. In fact, I've made a few of my own. Luckily, where's my eraser? It's just, I don't know, I guess for the Simpsons Sunday streams, the last thing I want is to start getting into one-trick pony territory, so... That's something that I am mindful of for myself more than whether or not I think it'll be, sort of fun for everybody else. Also, since this stream is all about Simpsons fan art anyway, and, most Simpsons memes are technically a form of fan art anyway, doing fan art of fan art to me seems kind of redundant. Unless it's something really good and something I can make really funny just by drawing it. So there you have it. There's some amazing reanimations of steamed hams on YouTube, and I've seen a few of them, and I need to see a few more of them. I need to see the one where, like, what is it, like every 3 seconds or every 5 seconds it's a different animation style, like it's the whole steamed hams routine, but every couple of seconds it's a new art style. I need to see that one. That's been around for a while, and I have not yet had a chance to see it. 13 every 13 seconds, okay. Okay. I hope that marker that fell to the floor was not important, because I don't feel like picking it up right now. Seem to be having some trouble holding on to things tonight. And this would be a little bit, this would have moved a little bit quicker if I had, well, I guess I could use this one. I have another, oh yeah, baby ruler. This is great because during the time that I was, without a permanent place to live, I actually did a lot of Sketchbook Saturday sketches, in parks, coffee shops, libraries, stuff like that. And I needed a ruler that would fit in my marker case, so in my pen case, so it fits right in there. I love it. I also love that it's steel and it will not break in this pouch. Unlike my punk-ass French curve that's around here somewhere that's already got like 3 cracks in it from being in there too. But what are you gonna do? But I had a, regular 12-inch version of this ruler. It's somewhere. I have a feeling I know where it is. And believe it or not, I'm pretty sure it's in my kitchen. And there's kind of sort of a story behind that, but it's a very boring one. It's just, I couldn't find my tape measure, and I needed to measure part of my kitchen counter, so ruler it is. Yep. Part of the reason why I have so many rulers, I got a T-square, I've got the 6-inch ruler, and I've got the 12-inch ruler, and I've also got a much more ginormous T-square right here. It's just the simple fact that I get so damn absent-minded when I'm streaming and when I'm doing stuff in general that, if I leave something somewhere, I can't always remember right away where I put it, so it's sometimes just easier to reach for the next one. This enables my absent-mindedness to a degree that I'm uncomfortable with, but It's efficient. I was on the phone. I was actually on the phone with my mother a couple of days ago, and we were, just talking. And I told her, like, sometimes, because she seems to think that I'm probably more organized than I really am, and I tell her, really, a lot of my organization is overcompensating for my supreme disorganization so that it balances out into something resembling normal. And she says, yeah, me too. Basically. I have a feeling I'm spending a little bit too much time on this one. It's okay. I may make up some of the time on the next one. I just kind of like this one. I'm hoping that they'll ratify me. There's a lot of fight burning, I got too much freedom. I wanna make it legal for policemen to beat them. Cause it's to our liberty. At least I hope and pray that there are. Cause those liberal freaks go too far. I'm not sure how well that came across on this microphone. I was kind of mumbling a little bit because I wasn't quite sure if I remembered all the words. Also, because my voice ain't singing ready today. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Oh, that's good. And I'll crush all opposition to me, and I'll make Ted Kennedy pay. If he fights back, I'll say that he's gay. There's some semi-progress, right? Like, being gay is not the kiss of death for a politician's career anymore. That's something, right? Not necessarily kiss of death for that was a very 90s thing, wasn't it? I need to maybe sit down or like show the Homer's Phobia episode of The Simpsons to somebody younger and not as familiar with what exactly the concept of homophobia meant back in the 90s, because supposedly there's some people that have, that have told me, or that I don't know if I've had this conversation directly, but I've heard at times that that episode is cringy as hell today, and I'm not sure if I can see it just because of, my hindsight and, what I knew they were addressing at that time. That was a shockingly progressive episode of television, period, in the time that it came out. I think this was 1997. That was woke as hell for 1997. Trust me. But I don't know. Maybe some people would feel differently about it now. Okay. And the fact that it was John Waters too. Not only that, they actually consulted John Waters for a couple of things in the script too, which I thought was very, very good. He's on the commentary for that episode on DVDs, and he said so himself. He actually got a chance to, he actually changed, I think, at least one line of dialogue in the episode, because he said he wasn't comfortable. He wasn't comfortable saying it, and they didn't give him, it's not like they gave him a hard time about it, but it's nice that they were, that there was at least that level of communication. I like that. Excuse me. We have our first official Simpsons Sunday quick sketch of 2021. We're going to jump right into the next one. But yeah, good news, amendment, they ratified you. Oh yeah! That was actually the... I don't know how common this knowledge is, but that was actually the original... In that Simpsons episode, that was the original voice of all of the Schoolhouse Rock episodes. I think his name is Jack Sheldon. Is the same guy from all of the original Schoolhouse Rock episodes. They got him to come back and do the voice for the parody of Schoolhouse Rock, which the Simpsons were great for that sort of thing. Like, they actually got the they actually got the lady who does the actual, the number you have reached is blah, blah, blah. They actually got the lady who actually does that, for she was on a couple of episodes, doing the phone voice. That's pretty great. This is slipping. I gotta fix the tape on this. I gotta figure out a more permanent way to keep this, this here. But until then, the next one's probably going to be slightly simpler. Oh, auto mod. Automod has very funny standards for what they will flag for moderation. This is gonna be No, can you see what they actually flagged? Yeah. Oh, Twitch. Oh, Twitch, where you can be as racist and homophobic as you want, but God forbid you use a mild sexual innuendo in chat. You will be immediately flagged for it. It wasn't even an intentional innuendo. It was just that combination of words happens to be flag worthy. Yeah, Twitch has already made it clear which words they are prioritizing moderation of. It is which things that they are prioritizing moderation of, which has also led to one of my good friends deciding that he decided to renounce his affiliate status, and he is moving on to YouTube and Facebook for streaming. He's kind of taken a stand against that. I support his decision. I respect his decision. Seems not to be consistent either. I would be surprised if it's in any way consistent. Because that's why there's so much emphasis on words, because you can program a bot to flag a word. It's much harder to program an AI to flag behavior. I don't know if I don't think it's impossible, but it's certainly more resource intensive to do that. So they want, and most platforms that allow chat want a simple solution to a complicated problem. They want a list of words that they can program a bot to flag. They don't want to have to train actual human beings to moderate and flag certain behaviors that are probably much more toxic and much more worthy, or I don't want to say worthy, but much more necessary to moderate than just words. It is indeed the Stone of Triumph, but in this context, this was another New Year's based thing where it's been going around, it's still going around, and it's, remove the Stone of 2020, attach the Stone of 2021. That's what I meant when I said this was kind of meme based. And, I feel that. I think way too many people have gotten used to have gotten comfortable with the idea that, 2021 is just magically going to be better than, that this year's just magically going to be better than the last year. And it's like, we do understand that there's a little bit more that goes into it than that, right? I think because of a few factors, there will be a few significantly better things about this year than last year, just for the simple fact that not quite as much will be going on this year as there was last year. I mean, well, look at it this way. Today's January 3rd. This is the 1-year anniversary of, us coming this close to World War III, so we haven't done that yet this year, so we're already kind of ahead of the game. Excuse me, I'm going to knock on some wood right now. What happened that day? We assassinated the United States assassinated an Iranian general. Unfortunately, I keep up with a lot of this stuff. It's it's somewhat part of my particular anxiety. And I wish I didn't have to, and I wish I didn't do it quite as much. I don't do it nearly as much as I used to. But I still am aware of things, whether I want to be or not. Well, it's kind of the opposite with me. Actually, staying on top of the news actually really sort of makes my anxiety worse. I'm saying that I did it a lot. I used to do it a lot more, and my anxiety was a lot worse because of it. These days, I do it very, very strictly in moderation. Or I try to. Let's see how well I can get this. Because part of what makes this image so funny is just the look of agonized struggle on Homer's face. Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, I can work with that. What now? Tell you what now. Oh, that what now? So just to be clear, I have some pretty high hopes for 2021 myself. But then again, I had them for last year too. A lot of things happened last year were out of I won't say they were out of everybody's control because they weren't, but they were out of the control of a great many of us that ended up having to suffer for it. And, we do what we can. Watch me get a bunch of angry DMs about, keep politics out of your Twitch stream, man. Too political, too preachy, man. Just shut up and draw. Why a virus has become political? Because, as far as I can figure it, and once again, I'm no anthropologist, but we sort of sort of culturists sort of come barreling towards a mentality where everything has to have a winner and a loser. It's also a very corporation type of mentality where it's, I'd rather starve with you than eat with you. I'd rather go broke than in any way succeed with you, than to in any way share what I have with you, whoever you may be. There's a lot of things. It's pretty tiresome. It's a pretty tiresome way to be, way to act, way to think. It's sad, and we can be better. I think. I hope so. Too political, man. Shut up and draw. Shut up and draw, man. You just lost a follower, man. See? Come for the Simpsons art, stay for the political hot takes. That's my motto. Oh, no wonder. No wonder that looks weird. There's a lot more of Homer's ass on this side. There we go. For a satirical show, it'd be weird if it didn't drift into politics and current events. One of the biggest laughs I've had in recent times. This was a while ago, but one of the funniest and dumbest things I've ever had somebody try to tell me and pass off as objective fact was somebody telling me that The Simpsons that The Simpsons has always been a traditionally conservative based show. And I don't care what political where on the political spectrum you land. You watch more than 5 minutes of The Simpsons and you know that ain't true. They've taken some good shots at both sides of, at all, you know, really all kinds of different sides of everything. But, you know, on the grand tally of everything, I don't know. Yeah, I had the exact same reaction. Then I posted the picture, you know, from Sideshow Bob Roberts, where Republican Party headquarters is literally, you know, Castle Dracula. I'm like, conservative-based show, huh? Okay. Okay. We'll leave it at that and we'll start the inking process. One moment, please. One of my favorite subsets of Simpsons memes is actually like the transposed head memes. There was one I saw today, like just today, that was this exact image, only it was the Rock, you know, the Rock was on Homer's head, like this Rock was on Homer's head, and Homer's head was like this big, and it was where the Rock is. It was chained to the Rock. It's just so disturbing. I haven't seen that one. There's another one, it may be a more popular one. It's probably been around for longer. There's the, you know, the the bird, he's grooming me, elephant fresh, and it's actually the bird's head on Homer's body, and then like a tiny yellow bird with Homer's head that's, grooming the bird head. That one's even more disturbing. I draw Homer's M hair a little bit too. There we go. I usually draw Homer's M hair a little bit too harshly. One thing about the Simpsons animation style is very rarely a lot of harsh angles. Things in this style are very rounded more often than not. Just gotta make sure that I'm actually that I've actually got everything in. I've always found it goes well with my own rounded style. Of course, my style might be round because I was so influenced by The Simpsons. It is very possible. I think we all have a little bit of Simpsons influence in us. You might even say we ate the Simpsons influence and it's in our stomachs right now. Oh wait, scratch that. But you're probably right. Even in my non-Simpsons art, I'm sure I've got some, some influence here and there. Particularly with the concept that they wanted every character to be very easily, if not instantly, recognizable in silhouette. That's a great cartooning shorthand. Not everybody can do that within the aesthetic of an entire series with hundreds of characters. It's probably a hard goal to reach, but damned if they didn't do it quite well throughout the history of the series. I do personally consider my non-Simpsons art and my non-cartoony art to be very angular and very sort of sharp. That's just kind of how I roll. But the silhouette thing is something I'd like to be mindful of. I mentioned yesterday I'm hopefully gonna start work very soon on my comic series, which has been put on hold for any number of reasons. Some of them good reasons, some of them not so good, some of them just downright excuses, I think, at this point. And my series, it involves a fairly big and diverse cast of characters, so the art style I'm trying to achieve for it doesn't necessarily take all of its cues from cartooning as opposed to comics, but I like to think it's probably going to end up taking more cues from cartoons and animation than anything I've ever done before, style-wise, visual-wise. I want to be able to kind of thread that needle as much as I can, where it's an aesthetic that's somewhere in between. I can go back and forth between cartooniness and seriousness when I want. Tall order, very tall order, but we'll see. And let's see, I'll do this really quick. There was a whole thing back here. Because I just can't resist making an easy thing difficult, or more difficult than it needs to be anyway. And I kind of planned this out anyway, so why not? Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. Isn't that easy working on an angle table? This one might need a refill soon. Maybe very soon. Okay. I do this because any kind of adherence to how the scene actually looked in the show is just going to make it funnier at a glance. In theory, anyway. Which I say an awful lot. Let's solidify the that bottom part there. Let's bacon up this sausage. Are we keeping a running tally yet of how many things I've dropped off of this table tonight? Okay. That's about as much as I want to do here. Okay. That is definitely super duper cereal as much as I want to do with this. Except for one more thing. Alright. And this. Okay, really, totally, totes done. For real, not for play. Done. Damn it. Done! So my two quick shifts. Coffee destroyed my thinking brain. Oh, thanks for the stream. Well, I'm not done. If you're leaving because you think I'm done, I got one more left to go. It's gonna be the feature painting. But if you gotta go, then you gotta go. And I thank you for. Oh, okay. There you go. You gotta go prep for work, finish your grading. Okay. Well, I certainly appreciate you dropping by and allowing me to soapbox a little bit and making the stream a lot more entertaining than it otherwise would have been. So, thank you for coming. I'll see you around. Have a good night. And I'm going to take this opportunity then to take a very quick break, readjust the table, pick up all of the crap that fell off of this table in the past hour and a half, and we'll be getting started with our feature painting. So stick around if you are watching. If you are watching on replay, then you can jump ahead a few minutes, and we'll be back after this short break. Okay, I'm back. At least I think I am. What we're doing next. First, what we're doing next is we're going to adjust this camera. Oh, that ain't it. There we go. I'm going to slide this up. That's the stuff. Just right about here. And, adjust for a lot of things, not the least of which is my own shortitude. I am not a tall person. We'll leave it at that. Probably. Oh, great. Can't hydrate. Alright, one more time. Be right back. Okay, I think we're good now. Let's get busy on our featured painting of the evening. It will be tangentially New Year's related. How tangential? You'll find out soon enough. Make sure I got everything, because we're flying by the seat here, somewhat. Have to make a sacrifice here, because I forgot to fill up my usual jar of clean water. Relatively clean water, at least. Okay. That's alright. That keeps me from having to get up for a third time before we start this thing. Okay. eraser go now? Is that one of the things that fell? Look like it. Yeah, it might have been. Oh, that's just great. Anybody knows what? Anybody has seen my eraser, please let me know. I miss it dearly. Not this eraser. Oh, here's my eraser. As usual, I found it while I was looking for something else. That's always how it goes. I'm gonna have to be redrawing some of this. I knew this came out too far. Okay. No problem. Like I said, you gotta be willing to kill your darlings here. So right off the bat, it's pretty clear that tonight's feature painting is of everybody's favorite fundamentalist Christian, Ned Flanders. like I said, today's feature painting is going to be somewhat New Year's based because this is the $1 trillion bill episode, or the episode that eventually became the $1 trillion bill episode, but it also doubles as a very quick New Year's episode with the ball drop in Springfield, as I hinted at on the social medias today. And good old Flanders waking up at midnight on New Year's Eve, realizing that he's got to do his taxes. Totally forgot to take the big ruler out of the kitchen, if it is indeed still there. But yeah, this is also, this is the episode that gave us, all of the will this horrible year ever end memes for the past, we've been wanting 2020 to end for a while now, so it's been quite a bit longer than it normally would. See how well a big part of this is this painting looking the way it needs to look is going to be getting the colors just right in the Flanders' bedroom. Oh, that's unusual. Alright. We got some colors to work up here. Definitely got some work to do on that front, I think. see what works and what doesn't. Alright? Sure. Might slide this over a little bit. Maybe give you a look at the palette. We'll see. We'll see how entertaining the color mixing is going to get. Throw this in. It's still a little bit too dark. Let's see here. That'll probably work. Quick switching of the brushes. Huh. I'm wondering what happened to this one. And this one. Oh, so very, very organized, aren't I? There we go. Yes, nailed it. Nailed Flanders' pajama color on the first try. Awesome. Very important. Two blue. There we go. Yeah, this one's gonna be... It's gonna be intricate, I think. That's what it's leaning towards to me. Very wide color palette is what I'm saying. A lot of different types of colors that are not easily made separately. Big rule of color mixing when it comes to, especially when it comes to these flat colors. When you finally mix your color together, make sure that you color everything of that color before you move on to another color, because like in this case, if you miss something, you're gonna have to match that color all over again if you don't have any more. That's not always that easy. Redden this somewhat, and then white. Again. That's more like it. See? All kinds of different colors to have to worry about. As long as you cover it all, it's easier later to sort of match and enhance all of these things. But right now, you have to suffer a little bit. You're gonna have to put that work in. Luckily, I think we may have found a color that we can use again. So much of this particular scene all uses unique colors, and man, does that ever get tricky to have to work with. This is gonna need some refining a little bit later, but it's a good base color. Try to get a dark purple and then an even darker purple. And that'll be the last that we need to do for this. No, not that. Let's try it in here. No. Maybe a little bit of red. It's a warm purple compared to the other part. Come back to that, unfortunately. Well, another instance of me not following my own advice. I had a color ready to go for the rest of those curtains, and I forgot that they were there. Now I'm gonna have to rediscover them. Rediscover the color that is. gray it up. This is going to be even darker. At least in theory. Nope, not dark enough. No, still not dark enough. Let's try to get back this color that I had over here. Close enough. For now. For now. For now. That's probably about as much as I've ever had to base color anything. Or the most colors that I've probably ever had to use to base color anything. Including another one over here. Okay. What else we got? Yep. Zoop. What else can we do here? We can darken this up to some degree or another. And put a darker layer on it. Make sure everything's covered. Can certainly darken this up. This is tricky because it's trying to figure out just exactly what color this is in the first place. That needs a little bit more warmth. Let's try the old scarlet here. That might work a little bit better. Not quite. Not what I was hoping for. Let's try it again. That's a little bit too much. Let's see. Sometimes I can mix together a color that I want quite quickly, but on the times that I can't, it then takes some doing. Put another layer on Flanders' clothing. Okay. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. We were getting somewhere before, but now we're getting somewhere else. Never mind. There's a couple of places where I want to go super opaque, but not everywhere. Mostly in the immediate foreground. Maybe some background areas, but not many. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to start working the palette here. We got some colors already graciously put down by past me. I'm going to take advantage of. As always, make sure that Simpsons yellow is good and opaque, or whatever color you can make approximate to Simpsons yellow. Luckily, there's not a whole lot in this case that I need to use. I don't have to mix together a whole other tray of it. Should have known that was going to happen. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Ever seen a man say goodbye to a paint? Okay. Girls. Hello, good beyond good karma. Thanks for coming. Thanks for the follow. Got a little bit carried away. I didn't see you come in. We are finishing up Simpsons Sunday. Might still be a little while. This is our featured painting of the evening, which is meant to be a slightly New Year's themed painting of Flanders waking up at midnight on New Year's and realizing he hasn't done his taxes yet. Let's work. Let's see what we got here. Anything already down that we can use? Probably not. Alright. Look at what we got. We'll add more if and when it's necessary. Let's see. That'll work for this. Kinda, sorta. What I'm doing now is just putting some opaque color on the foreground here, giving everything a few more shades to it. This is going to be an effort right here. Luckily, I've already got a paint that's very close to what Flanders is wearing here, so I don't think I'm going to have to do too much with it. Let's see how it goes on the page. Not at all. In fact, it's probably pretty close to perfect just the way it is, which is just the way I like it. Okay. Let's do mods. Little eyeshadow here. Why is she sleeping with eyeshadow on? I have no idea. Art looks awesome. Oh, are you looking at the previous art? I'm like, wait a minute, that's not Bart. Looking at the previous stream art. Thank you. I appreciate it. Here, this is a scene when this is from season 9, I think. When Maud was still alive. Trouble with Trillions, that's the name of the episode. I forgot, I couldn't think of it earlier. It's the $1 trillion bill episode, but this is the first scene early on when it's dealing with New Year's, which is why I decided to do this for tonight. I think we might have finally found a color that's gonna work for that bedpost. Simpsons Sundays, yep. Simpsons Sundays. I do Simpsons Sunday every other Sunday, so I'm doing it this week. The next one will be January 17th. Sunday, January 17th. But I also stream on other days as well. It's just not Simpsons artwork. The same previous stream art all the way to the right. That's other things that I've done on the stream as recently as last week. So the more the merrier. Everybody is always welcome for any stream, but especially Bart, but especially Lisa. No, especially Simpsons Sunday. That's the day most of all when I want as many people to show up as possible. And that doesn't always happen, so the more people out there, the better. I tell everybody, tell your friends, and if you don't have any friends, tell your enemies. it's just making it lavender. I can't quite crack this particular nut of space behind here. I'm gonna end up just throwing up my hands and giving up and going with a color that is absolutely nothing like what we've got here, like what the color actually is. Yeah, that's just gonna be deeper and deeper violet, which is not quite what the color is. That's a shame. It's definitely a lot more blue, but not too much blue. Let's see what this is. That might cover it. I'm not 100% satisfied with this color, but it's as satisfied as I've been so far with it, and probably as satisfied with it as I'm going to get. This up so that my stupid fingerprints are out of the way. Okay. Come out of there, is it? Yeah, kind of. Last thing. Let's see, is this going to work? Could be a little bit redder. Could be a little bit redder. There we go. I'm going to cover any and all in between spaces because these are going to be outlined in just a few minutes, but outlines will only cover so much because I'm using thin pens, so I don't want there to be any gaps, any white spots where there should be color. Right? Dark blues, fingerprint. Yeah, I don't know if you have any experience with painting, like one of the biggest little nuisances, one of the biggest occupational hazards is keeping your own fingerprints and your own smudges off of your work. I'm gonna dry this completely and then we're gonna start inking. One moment, please. One moment, please. I'm not gonna keep humming that, but you get the idea. Enjoy painting, but you're not skilled. Well, here's the best thing about enjoyment versus skill, and that is that skill can improve because of enjoyment. The more you enjoy doing something, the more you're naturally going to do it because you enjoy it. And the more you do something, the better you're going to become at it, if that is indeed what you want to do. Where did the beginning of this tape go? Oh, here we go. Art is always about fun. I agree. Everybody has fun in their own ways, but the multimedia, so do I. I have all kinds of stuff here that I work with, even different kinds of paint. Even most of my paint stuff is watercolor, but I use different kinds of watercolor paints. All right, we good? I think so. Raise this back up, and we're gonna ink this baby. Then wherever we need to, we can reintroduce some of the paints. And speaking of multimedia, we can start introducing, for some select details, some marker. And if we need to draw over anything, we've got opaque marker. I got paint markers. See? Multimedia. If I am understanding your meaning of that. Alright, there we go. And see, the inking is actually my comfort zone. It's only this year and some of last year, this year. It's already next year. But specifically in 2019 and 2020, tried to make a conscious effort to get better at painting. My comfort zone is usually with black and white ink drawing. Tried to get out of that exclusively anyway, and do more stuff with painting, and do more stuff with every kind of media and every kind of tool at my disposal. Now that I have that, there was a period of time where I didn't have all of my favorite art tools handy, and I kind of had to make do. That's actually one of the reasons why I started branching out into working on painting, because that was what I had available to me at the time. to create using recycled materials too. I've done that before, and I've worked with people who have done that before, and that's a lot of fun too. Any way anybody, creates their art is fine with me. I'm just somebody who always encourages everybody to create art one way or another. I don't get too hung up on what you use or how you use it, how you decide to express the particular form of art that you're into or that you're best at. That's not nearly as important to me as, encouraging people to just go out and do it. Did it again. Smeared this up. That's going to be a little bit harder to clean up. Not impossible, but a little bit harder. Make sure there's none left on me. Get some of it off now. Yeah, that kind of sucks. Alright, let's get that out of there. And this. And these. I'm gonna fix that later. Hold still light. That doesn't always work. The pen that I'm looking for is underneath my my paint tin, but that time it did, thankfully. The problem I'm running into is there's way too much ink on this particular pen. Excuse me. Sorry. That one, that particular pen is one that I'm not going to be able to rely on tonight. I have to work around it. Starting to get nervous. And, critical part of things where gotta make a lot of sharp little technical lines against some very ambiguous forms and shapes to make those shapes and forms less ambiguous, and that is tricky. We'll fix that in a minute. The 4 elephants of the apocalypse. It's Horseman Nettie. Getting closer. Let's try the other brush pen, which should hopefully not have nearly as many issues with overflowing, if I can find it. It seems to be a big if right now. For later. Nope. Maybe. Did I drop it? Actually, I think I did drop it. Nope, that ain't it. But I'll use this instead of spending the rest of the night looking for it. Okay. And I'm holding the pen like this specifically so that my hand doesn't touch the page and I don't smear any more paint or ink. Hope you have a great night. The line work looks really well done so far. Hope you have a great night too. Thanks for coming and thanks for the follow. Hope to see you again soon. Come back anytime. Everyone is welcome. Head out for a walk before you stream. Are you a streamer too? I'll check you out. I may have to check you out on the replay, but I will certainly check you out. Start sliding on me now, keyboard. I was afraid that was going to happen. Okay. Screw it. Change that. Okay. Fix that later. Yes, I think that'll work for some of the basics. Now we gotta enhance. We gotta close some of these gaps. And in some cases, white some of them out. And in some cases, color some of them in. First of all, this is bugging the crap out of me. Out of here. this in, certainly, because this is... I was not quite there. Not quite where it needed to be. Trying very hard not to start smearing or causing any of these ink lines to run. Some of them run a little bit more easily than others depending on what kind of pen I used. It's a thing to keep an eye out for. Open up. Drink. There we go. Oh, it's starting to look like what it's supposed to look like. Whew. Okay. Now we're talking. Let's try this a little bit. I do believe my mouse is running out of juice. Yeah, definitely need some new batteries in this mouse. I'll take care of that a little bit later. First of all, actually, not yet. One more thing I want to do. Now, this may very well be a terrible idea and may screw over the whole painting. But there's really only one way to find out. Let's get this all out of here. Ooh, clean place to work. Where? Yep, here we go. That gonna work? Not terribly. Not terribly. A little opaque watercolor to lighten some of these spots up, so it's not all one flat color. This is about as semi-transparent as it gets. This is about the best balance I can get between transparent and opaque. I think it works. Okay, actually, let me re-dry this. Actually, lest I forget, probably the most important part of this whole thing, the part that actually makes it funny, is just so that I don't forget that later. Whatever effect I plan on using, I have a few ideas. This will be the fireworks that are going off in the background for New Year's. More on that a little bit later. First of all, magenta this up a little bit. This part too. Let's see, how close is this? Quite close, actually. Good. It saves me some time and effort. Which also means that we make an adequate shadow color here and here good. Now I can do what I was going to do a little while ago, which is... Oh, I took that out already. Good. Let's see how good is this right now? Not very. Let's clean this off a little bit. The thing about these paint markers with the fine tip is that they actually work quite well, but you really gotta keep these points clean. If you don't, then they won't work the way they're supposed to. If you do, you can work with something like this. Okay. Cool. And Flame Destroy, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream, and I hope you stick around, and I hope you visit often. Amazing. Thank you very much. This is we do this every other Sunday. We do Simpsons Sunday, and I do some Simpsons related artwork every other Sunday, and I am always looking for I'm always happy to have more people here on the stream. So, as I'm fond of saying, make sure you tell a friend, and if you got no friends, tell an enemy. Phase this in here. Leftover white spots here. Unfortunately, the paint didn't quite do it for that part. You know, I don't have fun. I never assume. I just make it known that it's an option. Thanks for the host as well. I appreciate it very much. A little detail I didn't quite get. Let me see if I can reintroduce it in here, because I think it'll add a little something. It's going to require some cleaning. Try that again. Good as new. You draw it first. Yeah, I drew in pencil first. then just did it in Paint. I got the actual reference from the actual episode of the show right off camera, and tried to make it as close as I possibly could and try to match as many of the colors as I could, and that's how I do it. And luckily it usually comes out pretty nice. Draw looks like garbage. Well, that's what my drawings look like once upon a time too, and I kept drawing until they didn't look like garbage anymore. Unfortunately, that's really the only advice that I can give anybody is if your drawings are not good, then keep drawing until they're good. Keep drawing and learn as much as you can from as many different places as you can. Most of the time people get upset when you tell them something like that because they're hoping that there's a shortcut or there's a quick fix or there's a secret way to get good at drawing. And drawing is just one of those things where the only way you're ever gonna get any better is just by doing it as much as you possibly can, and trying to get a little bit better each time you do it. Yeah, well, that's fine. It sounds like a fine idea to me, Flame Destroyer. Like I always say, I encourage everybody to draw and make art any way that they want, any way that they can. If it was up to me, there's no secret because drawing's a talent. That is true, but it is a talent that you can, to some extent, improve upon. You can become better at it if you. I'm not saying you can become much better than you naturally already are, but you can improve. You can become better. You can find new and better ways and new and better techniques, and you can become better. Believe me, I was not, I was pretty bad once upon a time. And, you know, I just kept going until it wasn't anymore. Okay, now, last thing. We're gonna do fireworks effect here. This is the last thing we're gonna do tonight. And that is, we're gonna see, I'm gonna do this right here. You know what to draw though? Well, draw whatever you want. Draw whatever comes to mind. Draw whatever you most enjoy drawing, really. It's up to you. Entirely up to you. Mostly draw anime girls? Yep, you're not the only one. I know plenty of people that's what they love drawing the most. And the more you draw that, the better you're gonna get at it. Sounds like a good place to start for me. Sounds like a good place to start to me. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to dry this. Excuse me for just a moment. Man, I really got to replace the battery on that mouse. That's going to drive me crazy. Flame Destroyer says, normally I search up a picture and draw it, but I'm going to try to draw something without a picture. Yeah, if that's what you want to do. You also shouldn't feel like there's anything wrong with having a reference and drawing something from a picture that already exists, because as you can see, I do the exact same thing, and I still do the exact same thing. Reference is very important in drawing. It's good to be able to draw something without it, but there's nothing wrong with drawing something with it too. Letting that dry a little bit more, and then last but not least, oh, that's disconcerting. Let's get that back in there. Make that as glowy as possible. Can't searching a picture and at the same time being in chat. Oh, that's also a problem. But we're almost done. That's not good. Great. That's unfortunate. So I can get that out of there. We're almost done here, so it's almost time to say goodnight. Nuts. That wasn't good. You're going to improve. Yeah, that's the idea. But like I said, you gotta work at it. There's really no shortcuts and really no fancy tricks. You just gotta put the work in. You put that work in, you're not gonna see the improvement that you want. If you really want to work at being better, if you want to work at improving your abilities, not everybody has that goal. Not everybody necessarily is, wants to starts drawing with the intent to improve. Oh, I am on the East Coast of the United States, so it's actually not that late. It's only 7:45 here, but it's Sunday. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done for tomorrow, for the week ahead, so this is my day to stream earlier, and I gotta get that done. So that means I gotta get this done. Improvise. Well, you get very well acquainted with that concept if you keep going. Europe first, so it's 1:45. Oh yeah, it's quite a bit later where you are. Well, I think we're just about ready to call this one. Last thing here. Give that shade to mod in the background. Make sure we're not neglecting the background. Background is important too. Behave yourself, lamp. Then I think we can call this done, and I can do this. Whew. Yeah, that was a substantial one. You're one perfect eye, but can't make the other one. Well, you can do what I do and just use a circle template. If you don't have a circle template, you can use anything round in your own home. You can use a coin. You can use a roll of tape. For a particularly big circle, just the other day, I used a pot lid. Get creative. Find things around the house that you can use. Get resourceful. Like you said, improvise. See what you can come. That's if you happen to want to draw a perfectly round eye like we've got here for Ned. Most eyes are not perfectly round. The irises and the eyeball behind the eyelid is not perfectly round, but much more round than it looks on the outside. But really only Simpsons eyes are perfect circles, which is why I always keep this around. But if you don't have one of these, you can... Your eyes aren't round. Yeah. The only other advice I can give you is to observe and to reference whatever it is you're trying to draw. If you're trying to draw human-looking eyes, observe human beings and the way their eye shape is. If you're trying to draw anime eyes, observe how those are drawn in, you know, your favorite animes and whatever you're trying to make it look like. You reference, you borrow, and then you make it your own as time goes on. That's pretty much the best advice I can give right now. So with that, we're going to call it tonight. I want to thank everybody who dropped by, everybody who came in and chatted with me, everybody who took time out of their Sunday to talk Simpsons with me and talk art with me. I always enjoy talking all of those things with anybody and everybody. And by the way, while we're at it, oh, Mamma Mia, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for the follow. I'm glad you dropped by, and I hope to see you again soon. Unfortunately, we're just about done, but I will be back. Oh, thank you, Flame Destroyer. Like the stream, then I hope to see you again soon. I will be back sometime this week. I cannot guarantee if it will be thank you Mamma Mia. I cannot guarantee that it will be Tuesday or Thursday. Hopefully, I'm hoping for Tuesday, in which case it will probably be Tuesday, and I may decide to go a little bit earlier than I have been previously, so it will be Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, just for the time zone in your area, because some of you guys live very far away from me, very far. Yeah, and if you're not sure and you want to know when I'm going live and you want to make sure that you don't miss a stream, you can follow me on social medias, on all of the social medias. I'm Epic Benjamin J on all of the things. Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. You can follow me on any one or all of those things, and you'll have a much better idea of when I'm going live and when I will be going live. You can see artwork that I previously posted. You can see artwork that I will post in the future. I'm talking about in the future I will post it, not that you can see right now artwork that I will post in the future. You get the idea. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway. This has been a really fun stream, and I hope to see, I got a couple of new followers, and I hope to see you guys all on a regular basis. It's fun talking art with all of you guys, and like I said, like I always say, I like to make friends through art. That's one of my favorite things to do ever in the entire world, and I encourage everybody else to do the same. So I will certainly see you again sometime this week. I cannot guarantee that it will be Tuesday or Thursday. It may be one, it may be the other, or it may even be both. We'll see. But if you're following me and you're getting notifications, you'll know exactly when, and I hope to see you then. Until then, I hope you guys never, ever, ever stop making friends through art. Thank you all for coming. Have a good rest of your Sunday. And until I see you all again, please remember, stay safe, laugh hard, ride fast, be kind.